We are the Multi-Jet Corporation. We opportunity in any situation. I can for the world population. Profits made from global formation. We use terror and oppression for the world. Exploitation, terror, blood. Extermination, survival on death. Devastation, control. Manipulation. Criminals to death! Let's have some candy.
Yeah!
Yeah. Some radioactive chocolate forever and ever. Here we go.
Let's go!
goodie. The business is on parade.
We're on parade.
What am I using on that one? Home Depot. Fabulous North American gay dead cops. Here they are.
Number one.
All right.
Number
Cincinnati's number one. Yeah. All right. Oh, there was a set list there. Now I got to do this from memory and shit. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Anyway, corporate death burger, let's eat. Who wants a fun meal with a toy inside? Come on, kids, let's get in the car. They got a Mickey D's. Come on, follow me, everybody. This one, alright, it's a new one's called All the Founding Fathers Terrorists are Freedom Fighters. Andrew Jackson, that man on the $20 bill. Indian killer, right? The only good Indian that one's dead. Alright, here we go. Founding Fathers. American history moment. Time to reflect. Open your books, everybody. Turn to page 212. On the terrorists, freedom fighters. On the terrorists, freedom fighters. Let's go on the day.
Hey, you guys saw it?
Yeah, it's all called. I remember the police, the Klan, the Mafia. I remember. Put XYZ is my favorite country station, but they don't play country music anymore.
Fuck you, I'm a rambling motherfucker.
Now it's all Christian radio. I like them crosses coming into town. How you gonna burn in hell? Coming from Columbus.
I need Texas.
I need some Hail Satan on. No fan for Al. No fans. All right. Sleep a little less and dream a little more. It's a song about getting radioactive or dying. It's about dreaming and hoping something good's gonna come out of this whole fucking basket case. This whole fucking demolished fucking shit. Maybe an asteroid won't hit the earth, but think, sleep a little less and dream a little more. Get up, there's a movie called Now is the Time. We're all in a bind, it ain't so fucking fine. Get up, there's a movie called Now is the Time. If you know this I dream about no more cops. Here we are.
I've never seen them play.
That's alright. We need an off-speed pitch here.
Fuck the cops!
Alright, this is a little lie here. It's called Tick for Brains. Here we go. Veteran 16. Veteran 16 sent our postcards from around the world. This is for you all. It's called Tick for Brains. Here we go. Chirp. Yeah. What do you need? Beer? Somebody has drugs or alcohol, pass them to the bassist in the band here. La puta de. Yeah, it's a bass Google. Yeah. Fucking beautiful. From Brownsville.
Los gorrilas del viejo.
We're done.
Gorillas from back then.
Maravilloso. Mi familia es un poco loco. My family is a little weird. My family is a little weird. Mi familia es un poco loco. Poco No, no su madre. Su madre es... Yo hablo español. Muy bien, gracias. Soft, so a little moment of silence. All right, let's play a happy little song. It's called "Let's Kill All the Cops." Let's kill all the cops. Let's kill all the cops today. Let's kill all the cops. Let's kill all the cops. Let's kill all the cops today. Yeah. All right.
Money pile.
All right, money pile. Making money on disasters, you know. Iraq, Halbert, the whole crew, the war industry, security, 9/11, making lots of money. The flood in New Orleans, fiber optics. That's where to put the money. They gotta rewire that whole fucking place. Fiber. Take it out of punk rock record albums and put it right. Actually, fuck that shit. Put it right into punk rock albums. What's going on? Anyway. Money pile, money. Join the army to get rich and all that money, bonus money they're giving. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, let's do a song. Well, this is a long time coming. Church and State. They finally got it all together. Let's say a little prayer before the Pledge of Allegiance here. I pledge my allegiance to the sky and to the Republicans for which they... Your money, your fucking healthcare, your breath, your fucking shit, your piss, everything you own, they got you fucking wired, flipped out, controlled. They don't want you. Yeah. Yeah.
John Wayne was a Nazi!
You gotta do
John Wayne was a fucking Nazi.
You got him!
Alright, this is Nazis shouldn't drive their motherfucking cars. They should meditate, they should fucking do yoga, they should become vegans, and they should fucking ride bicycles, they should do everything but fucking drive cars, because we just don't like Nazis and they shouldn't drive cars! I love you. Come ahead. all these guys in the front. There is no security? Oh, you guys are great. You guys are really all right. You know, no security. You guys are just great. All right, John Wayne was your motherfucker.
Yeah!
But now he's pissing on your grandparents' grave in heaven. Here we go.
Fuck John Wayne!
No, don't say that. Alcohol poisoning. It's fall now. Getting strung out. Stop doing too many drugs. Back a little. Let me get my water. The hot sun rising early in the ghetto. Someone was watching late last night. You know what I know? 'Cause you was fast asleep. You've only seen the city in the park. Yeah, alright. So bitch. Sometimes you gotta run. Sometimes you gotta stand still. And sometimes you got to fall down. You got to fall But you were fast asleep. You only see the city in the broad daylight. I did the broad daylight. I did the broad daylight. I did the broad Just our last song for the night. It's called Born to Die. No war, no KKK, no fascist USA. Thank you everybody who came. Thanks everyone who paid. Thanks everyone who put flyers up. Thanks to the Chris from Sudsy Malone who tried to get us to Sudsy Malone. Thanks to my friend Sarah Heidler and the Heidlers who are putting us up tonight. Thank you. Anyone who has anything to do with good shit going on in Cincinnati, I know you're working hard, you're fighting the bad propositions that fuck with gay people, that fuck with people, Procter & Gamble. Just enjoy life, be true, be blue, have fun, and take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. Clean.
Yeah, you can go down and get some shots of them.
Yeah,
like,
it was just a long drive.
Oh, Sarah's interviewing us. I forgot this part.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get the paper?
Yeah, I do. I have the questions.
Goofy questions. He's got some questions that he said he doesn't know the answer to. So
that way it'll be spontaneous.
Well, how about the one you know? You know, what is it like to reunite after all these years?
Hell. No. Actually,
there is a partial truth.
Actually, well, you know, we're not as angry, and we have our perspective a lot better, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. You know, everything that was so, I don't know, everything that was difficult, everybody's just been through it, and so we can sit back and enjoy it. And that's kind of nice, you know. It definitely feels better than it did, you know, the same four individuals that played 23 years ago and haven't played, you know, and didn't play for 23 years. There was a reason for that, you know, but everybody's grown and everybody's a different person now, and, you know, and now it's fabulous. You know, Dave got the other three guys, goes, Al, and I said, gosh, really? Well, okay, that sounds great, because I always thought NBC never sounded better in the beginning. Certainly the record sales would indicate that, you know, that the people liked that first album most, you know, because they sold lots more of that than anything else. Every time we released something, they'd have to press a lot of that first album, and these are four guys in the first album, so it's, but actually it's nice getting back together. It's nice. It's better than I even expected. And now I've got my son with me on tour, and that's great. You know, he's not just a little kid screaming. You know, like, because I took him on tour before, it was mostly child care. Now it's daddy care, and he's our roadie, and you know, him and his pal Wes, and they work very hard for us. And, so it's very good. It's all feeling very good.
If I could say something.
Yes, I even let him talk once in a while.
Thanks.
Okay.
You know, as you get older in life, you get two things going on. One is, I won't put up with the same shit I put up with in the past. That's on one hand. And on the other hand is, you savor things even more, and you sometimes gain more appreciation for things as you go on. People, life, culture, music, things that you create, things at 26 didn't necessarily appreciate as much as I can you know, as I'm in my late 40s. And so they got two of those things going on. But right now it's been a very fun thing to do, and you feel like it's something old that's got a breath of second life. And you don't always get second chances with things. People slide away, people have no interest getting back together, and this is one of those things that have, and it's kind of interesting in that we I get to savor what it really is. And at 26, I didn't quite get everything that I get at this point in my life, so it's a real fun thing.
So you're older in ways, it's better, but how is that playing to a crowd that is majority much younger than you, having that age difference that you didn't have before between you and the crowd?
Well, I think Al and I are always a little older than the crowd, because, you know, we were the typical punk band that started when we were 16 or 17. You know, MDC really cracked it about when I was 25, 26, and Al was 27, 28. So from the get-go, I was, you know, when the band made it, you know, 82, 83, we were in our mid to late 20s already. So even though the gap wasn't as large, and, you know, the difference between, say, a 19-year-old and a 28-year-old can be quite different between, say, someone in the late 40s and someone in their teens. Yeah, there is that going on. How does it feel? Well, so let me say this too. There are still a lot of people in their 30s and early 40s coming to the show, though not as many. I think it's really cool that people that are young still think I've got a voice and that I've got something to say, and that my music and the lyrics, our music and our lyrics resonate with them.
And being older than the crowd, along that lines, do you, how does it feel then to play songs that are 20 years old, that people always yell out and have that expectation of that older song? And do you feel any pressure that there's the expectation that you be that person that you were at that age?
Yeah, well, as far as performing the song, that can be very true. I mean, I'm not even sure they know who the person I was 20 years ago. I mean, know the person I was. There is a simplicity, like, you know, we played with Leftover Crack the other day in New York City in front of a large crowd, I say the average person was between 18 and 23 years of age. People totally half my age. And people get up on stage and go, fuck Bush and kill the cops. And then the bouncers would throw him off, and the next guy would run up there and go, yeah, screw Cheney too. And and it was their moment to do something like that. And maybe at my age, I'm gonna look for something a little more, profound, or, you just can't do that to a crowd that's in their late 30s or early 40s. It gets a little old. But I'm happy that anyone comes to see me anywhere. Really am. If it was Green Martians or, Canadians with lisps, I would be happy, and I'm not trying to put any Canadian with lisps.
I was going to say, we're going to look at MySpace and there's going to be, so what the, when you a boot?
That's stuttering, that's stutters, but anyway,
it's a list.
But I really, what can you say? People pay for your supper, they pay for you to go around the world, and you come home with some money, and people come out and they spend their money to see you. I'm happy anyone really does it. Really am.
So do you think it's been worth doing it DIY?
Now there's a deeper question. DIY.
All these years. Do you think
What was
it's
the
been worth
DIY we heard the other day from Mike Tanneron?
Dig your own grave.
it? Dig your own
grave. Yeah, that's DIYG, I guess, DYOG. But that's a hard question. It's we'd like to think that it's viable, but sometimes it just is very, very minimal, because you can't, not trying to. See, one thing NBC's had an advantage of is our expectations have always been really realistic. We've never, tried to get the whole big banana, but at some point we want, because you throw us the peel, and it's tough, and people, sometimes people, we had a show canceled in Trenton, and the guy was just, and it's just kind of, people will be exceedingly rude where if you got on the bandwagon with some promoter who's, a hard driving SOB or whatever, and just, you do this MDC, you're never going to see blah, 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 and play all that blackmail, then you will get paid. You'll do a shorter tour with bigger, and I like playing a lot. I like, it's easier to play now. I can't tell you why. It certainly isn't our clean living or anything else, but for me, it's easier to play now. The band sounds better now. Trade-off, did they get old? Is it harder? You go up there and kill yourself, get the defibrillator out there, Claire, boom, okay, one more song, It's not like that. I just turned 51. And,
but the question
was DIY. And we're skirting it. He wrote it, but we're skirting it because I don't know why.
Would you advise a younger band then to do it DIY? If they came to a crossroads where they had a choice to sign with a label or take off on their own, what would you have any advice for that young band?
Well, I can say something here. I say it's really what you want out of it, and I think there are people who can to some degree flirt with the majors and then come back to a DIY reality. And a good friend of ours who did that was Michelle Schaub, in a totally different genre, who I totally love and respect. She got it out with Polydor. She went on the big shebang tour. They wanted to make her into one thing, this accessible women's country music thing, and she wasn't, and she went separate ways from Polydor. But she gained something from that. She gained this push from a major, and I don't think that was a terrible thing. Now, in punk rock, it can be the kiss of death if you're a band like who's got a DIY independent reputation, and then you cross over to the dark side.
Or you can become Green Day.
Or you become Green Day and then get invited to P. Diddy's party and not care that, the people at the Gilman Street warehouse, hate you or think you sold out because you've moved on. What I really want to say about that, I think it's individual choice. it always bugged me that people that went on to majors didn't look back and take some of what got them to get there, try to raise them up, and without pointing my finger at anybody, you know. I don't think it's a sin that you've gone to want major things that major labels can do you and more commercial realities can get you, but so many people have not kind of remembered where they came from or took with them. They just kind of moved on. It's like inheriting a lot of money and then all of a sudden hanging out with new friends because your old friends, you know, will always be jealous of you or something like that, or not fit in with you. And there is a reality to that, but I just wish bands would went from independent to majors, kind of remembered people in the background, remembered the realities, and did more things to fund Gilman Streets and to fund little organic punk rock. And just in case of Michelle Shop, does shitloads of benefits for all kinds of groups.
You've been at this a really, really long time, and you've done it a lot, and you've done it a lot everywhere. What's the difference in Europe and the U.S. in your crowds? What's the major difference? What are the major differences? Doing it there and doing it here.
But we're really big major rock stars over there. I can't help it, Dave, going with that one. He was there more recently than I was.
Yeah, you know, I think people have angst and feel a certain amount of loneliness and isolation and loss of individuality and all those things that make you punk rock, whether you're a 14-year-old in a mall shopping at Hot Topic or whether you're Alan DC sitting right next to me. And I think they have it over there, Europe and here. We've been talking before in places like Brazil, and when I read about the Philippines and Indonesia, we were just in Brazil 3 years ago, there's a real desperation in the air from a third world community. So economic topics really feel and hurt people. You know, kids who live at home with mom or single, you can still get by, not so easily, but fairly easily in our society as far as it goes. In many societies, and in Brazil and in Mexico and different places in this place, you can feel that sense of urgency of economic inequality. And a band like MDC sings to that. So, whereas a suburban middle class kid can go, oh, la-di-da, starving children, multi-death corporation, doesn't really mean anything to me. You live in a place like Indonesia, and you know people who are making 80 cents a day, and you know people's younger brothers are in sneaker factories and clothes factories 29 out of 30 days a month. A certain urgency becomes in relating to the music, and that to me makes it really a lot of fun and strong feeling to play in Brazil.
So you think you're speaking to something deeper, something that's deeper and a more of an actual reality, and not just something that is a discombobulated sort of idea.
You
not
said
just
that,
an
you said
ideal.
that excellently. Yes.
But just speaking to something real.
It is
something
definitely
factual.
exactly as you stated it, and it's real. It's the reality for them and their country folk and their brothers and sisters, and the realities going on, and they know people, and it's real.
What do you say on that subject?
On that subject, I think I noticed stark differences. I mean, especially when we went over to Eastern Europe, there was all that desperation there. That was we were the first band to play in Russia. That was '92, which was 13 years ago. But it's the same sort of thing. But we saw people walk down the street with polio. I said to myself, first I said, man, these Russian, man, how could they? And then I said to myself, what the hell is wrong with America? We cured polio, 50 friggin' years ago. It's cheap. Couldn't we have extended an altruistic hand so children in some of these countries don't have to hobble around? I mean, and it woke me up to a lot of things that I don't see in America. I know as an American, the first time I went over there in '82, somebody in England asked me, they go, well, they were talking about the Iranian situation when they took all these hostages. And the guy was giving me a loaded question. He said to me, he goes, does your average American really not know that the Shah has been a butcher that your government installed and supported for 2 generations, 40 years, and then they were going to give him a condo. I mean, are they really just so they think they deserve the gas as Americans at half the price as what the rest of the world has been paying forever, or do they not know? And I'd say, Americans really don't really know, because they really don't want us to know, and they really don't tell us. It's the propaganda that we, it was kind of embarrassing. The guy was trying to embarrass me a little bit, and I just thought about it a second. I go,
And face it, Americans don't want to know.
Right.
And we just played this 9/11 event in New York City.
That's true.
And it's something, they were asking people, why do you think 9/11 happened? And people had all these conspiracy theories. It was to install the Patriot Act, and Bush knew, and the right wings and the powers that be, and the people in the black helicopters. And I purely said, I think world economic inequality was the real reason for 9/11. The fact that we go into places like Afghanistan after the Russians go in and clear out the Russians and leave this war-torn region to itself, and then in this power vacuum, all this poverty festers, and whether it be in Pakistan, those special schools, or non-working Saudi Arabians, or all kinds of things. Muhammad Atta, who was one of the suicide guys, might have had a job as a middle-class engineer in the society, but the underlying cause is so much anger and resentment in this world is, in my opinion, economic.
Do you feel that's one of the? Do you feel that's a mission of punk? Do you feel like that's a mission of punk?
It's one of our missions in punk. I don't know about the whole kit and caboodle. A lot of punk is just one. It's if there's 50 million punks, there's 50 million what it means to them. But for us in MDC, and to I think a segment of the punk population, they're aware of economic inequality and that exists in our society, vanishing middle class, etc., etc. And then just the third world and hunger in Africa, what's going on, and how many people with AIDS in Africa who don't have drugs. 9 out of 10 people in South Africa who have AIDS, which is the largest country in the world that has AIDS, are not receiving medicine. You think, Bono asked Bush to do it, and Bush was going to, it gets talked about, and we're going to do it, but 9 out of 10 people in South Africa are not receiving medicine for their AIDS and dying. It's like a death warrant, death ticket. You get it, and you're dead in 2 or 3 years, and that's a fucking disgrace.
Has it changed at all for you over the years? Has your political focus changed at all? Has it broadened? Has it focused in? How have you grown?
For me, I don't think it's changed. I think the way I approach different angles and things I might have done when I was 26 and 28 are different, but I still feel the same things that I felt when I was 25.
So it just expresses itself different now?
I grew up in the Vietnam, just after Vietnam, and and I've always had the suspicion of our government and the ill will we spread around the world, which is considerable, and our ability to ignore it, act like we as Americans, or have saved the world from everything from World War II to that we didn't make a mess of so many places that we had no business fooling around with. The Middle East, to tell the Palestinians they can't have a homeland in Palestine since the 6-Day War in '67. I mean, I think the fruit 9/11 is the fruit of all that. That's the Middle Eastern end of it, and that it's so many other countries, so many conspiracies and little things, the death squads in Chile, killing nuns and I mean, it goes on and on and on, and there's so much resentment for the United States that's been earned.
Have you?
And we read Chomsky back then, and Howard Zinn. And
Yeah,
we still agree with him today. You
Yes,
know?
yes, we're still very, very,
One of the problems with punk and being a punk for such a long period of time is the anger. That on a very individual level, if I look back at myself, and probably if you look back at yourself at 20, just the anger, the intensity of the anger, and the expression of that through music, true, but then carrying that forward into life. How has that changed for you, being 50? What mechanisms do you have emotionally to deal with that? Because the anger is still there, but do you carry it differently?
Well, in our art and our music, we might write a song differently. If you've heard the first album, it comes across.
Personally, how do you carry it differently?
I don't. I feel like there's two things in the world I always take very seriously. One is myself, and the other is the state of the world. I just can't take them both very seriously at the same time. You know, you got to keep a sense of humor because you know you only got one life, and you know you can make. You try to make it well. You try to count appreciate your blessings without turning a blind eye to other people. But you don't try to. I mean, I try to enjoy what I'm doing and appreciate every day. Like they were saying, back then we couldn't appreciate. We had more anger. But now, I look back at things that were the good old days, and God damn it, I took the good old days and I screwed them up by not appreciating them. And now, on a level and personally, you lose friends along the way, and life's a very real thing,
So you think
so we're mature. I don't think we're any less, angry.
It's just a matter of appreciating things and using that as a guard or using that as a shield against the anger,
Well,
so
just
that the anger doesn't
making your
destroy
point
you
of
in the process.
right. Not letting yourself get eaten up.
Like the Dalai Lama or something like that.
Yeah.
You start to meditate and you start to. You want the baggage of anger all the time, or you'll be a twisted kind of person. So, but yet, on our newest album, it still comes across very angry at points.
No, the anger is
but
definitely
me
still
carrying
there.
around around in my life and going around like the state is fucked up, and just confronting every policeman in every situation. It's there's a human aspect that doesn't let you go there anymore. Not that I ever went there all the time, but in retrospect, as you mellow and as you age, and you just gain perspective, and not to let it control and consume you.
So
Because that anger will lead to sadness, and that sadness could lead to drug abuse, because you feel like you can't do a fucking thing about it all. And I've been kind of full circle with it all after being a singer in a very political band and an activist through the 70s and 80s, and then in the 90s it felt like nothing matters anyway, and I got very lackadaisical, very on drugs, and all right, well maybe it's my time to become Jimi Hendrix and Kiss the Sky, and kind of going full circle with that route, and then just realizing, I'm starting to hurt myself, and I'm starting to jeopardize my freedom, and that's not what I want, and then re-tapping into just positive ways of dealing with anger and frustration at a world situation. I just read something, 633 hippos left in Central Africa, and there was 10,000 there in the 70s. They're hunting them to extinction. It's sad. Doesn't that make you sad? I mean, like, there's someday going to be no African hippos, or they're all going to live at the Boston Zoo, or there's going to be 1,000 living in a few zoos around the world. That makes me sad and angry in a way that's very pessimistic. So you just got to try to say, wow, there's going to be no hippopotamuses. Just like they're running out of blue whales, and they're running out of silverback gorillas, and it's really, really sad.
And then on the other hand, you have global warming, right? Terrible problem. But we live in Portland, so all that great California weather, all of a sudden the global warming, we got great weather in Portland.
just everywhere else.
Kill the planet anyway.
Just everywhere else is pretty shitty.
Everywhere else is pretty shitty, yeah.
just to wrap things up, is there any advice, given how long you've been doing this and given the wisdom you have, the perspective of looking back at yourself, is there anything that you would look back and not tell kids that are coming up? Is there something that you would tell yourselves when you were 20? Even if you weren't ready to hear it, is there a message that you could send back to your 22-year-old self?
I'd go out, take care of your teeth. For Christ's sake, stay, when that cop pulled over and pulled you over and got, and you don't try to get away. Cops knocked some teeth out of my head. I would have said, Al, behave yourself, it'll be bad, it'll be cheaper in the long run.
Less drugs and less alcohol and less daytime TV. Especially the last.
That's it.
I'm Ron. I'm all about myself. Yes, that's right. I'm not. I'm really not. There he is, the big style spins on drum. Yeah, I'm Dave MDC. I lost the flu since the last time. Oh, I woke up this morning. Whoa, he's back here. He's back. Oh my God. My baby was gone. Thank you. Thank you. Morning. Straight. Why can't I play a song? Well, when I woke up this morning, Dave, he said, Al, you can hit the street. Because he said, oh, look how good I'm getting. I can really almost keep the fucking beat. Woke up this morning, that rhyme G-string was gone. And yeah, I'm killing time. Columbus, new world, living, and every year, all the thanks that should be given. So every year, that's what we do. Thanks for giving me what I didn't want. 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 I said, thanks for giving me what I didn't want. Yeah.